Hello and welcome back to F1 Manager 24 Creator Team Mode. It's round 13, Hungary, and I'll start with this disappointing news where only Ferrari, Alpine and RB voted for having more engines and ERSs. Don't know why more teams at the back with money issues voted against it, or indeed why Ferrari voted for it, but yeah, they voted against it for whatever reason. Still, this was at the very least a proposal to make more rather than a proposal to take away, which is an option, and I would be very angry if they had taken options away from us. At the very least, we're still stuck at status quo, which isn't horrific, just not great. Team-wide, still building pieces, putting more in the schedules for things that look like they might break soon, and that's about it. Money is tight. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more payment off the back of this. We do need to improve the helipad off the back of this as well. Otherwise, yeah. Both our drivers are back to neutral. No idea why. Not quite sure why 2 weeks would change their mentality, but it has. Board assessment happens after this for some reason, than opposed to after Spa, which is the break. This feels weird. I don't know why. But it's a thing that happens. Still 18th as a minimum. We are good here. Low speed and medium speed is the optimum. But if I remember rightly, Hungary can be a bit tyre wary. And we're decent at that in terms of keeping tyre percentages in. And we're good in low speed, which is only its secondary, actually. Medium speed is its primary. But we'll go for the maximum possible here.
Welcome to the beautiful Three Springs Valley, here in Hungary. You're joining us in Budapest for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Budapest was formerly 3 cities, and today they're all coming together to kick off what we hope will be a thrilling weekend of racing. It was Charles Leclerc who tasted victory in the last race, but he will surely be looking to find the recipe for success again and achieve another podium place. What will happen this weekend? Only time will tell.
Frankly, I do think more racetracks should just be called Country O Ring. It'd be so much more fun if France had a track that was just Franco Ring, or that the Barcelona track was just a Spano Ring. But never mind. Clear skies, cloudy, clear skies. We've not had a lot of rain in races, have we? 13 races in, we've had one wet race, and it was Monaco. Which, to be fair, not a bad thing because our drivers are not that adaptable. But I will see you, of course, for qualifying. No issues in practice. Kevin Magnussen had a big one in the sense that he crashed out of a session and then his car was damaged the subsequent session. Seems to be okay now, although he's not going out, so I don't know if that triggers when he comes out or not. But Mick ended practice 3 with a promising 9th place, with obviously not the optimal engine parts. Zane, with much less optimal engine parts, was 16th or something. So there's fine margins, potentially, as literally nobody comes out on track. So we should get a nice couple of clean runs here. Not a faster time for either driver ultimately, but Zane, with the 3 times done, a purple middle sector. Hulkenberg went off on his flyer, and we're immediately put in our place by Norris and Leclerc. Magnussen the last one to come out, in fact, but seems to have a functioning car. I'm a lot more concerned now. The track itself is warm and the air temperature is warm, but it is cloudy, so I don't quite know how that's going to affect tyre temperatures. I'm going to push them early here and hope that it's going to be fine. Mick just on the right side of the bubble. Hamilton's struggling in Q1. He struggled in practice 3. Mick was ahead of him in that. Short lap here, though. We may have pulled the trigger on our lap a smidge early because we'll end up with traffic, but Hamilton sorts himself out into 8th. Mick not got the tyres up at all. Zane has, though, somehow. I do not understand this difference. It's like Mick's not pushed, because his tyre wear is much better as well. It's like he didn't push at all for some reason. Oh, Sargent's done a decent time there. That's more concerning. And Mick does a slower first sector, probably because of the tyres. But he's also got the toe from Mick because he's getting ever closer. Probably because of his tyre situation. I don't know what's going on with Mick. Clean air, I guess, might be part of the issue. He just didn't get his temperatures up because he wasn't in dirty air. Whereas Zane was in dirty air and did get his temperatures up. Thankfully, the people behind aren't going fast enough in Mick's case. Zane's done a worse middle sector, but Mick's done a better middle sector. Ah, there goes Gasly from the bomb to put Mick in danger. And Mick sorts that right back out again. 16-17. It's not great, is it? I am wondering if I've forgotten to change back a car part that we ran out of. Because that could explain some things. Nope, seem to be on the right spec for everything. Well, Albon's had a mare. Didn't even know you could go off at that corner. Ah, no, you can go off at that corner. Well, that makes 13th easier for the race. I mean, that was literally like 3 seconds into the session, so irrelevant. Magnussen with a really bad lap leaves Mick 14th, as people are coming out to do second laps still already. Might leave it a smidge later than I did last time. All right, that'll do us. Compromise the Williams, RB, in fact, because I'm going to push the tyres from the off. So this is... Ah, no, he was on a in-lap, I think. But the Ferrari's going to get compromised, because Mick won't get out of the way. Not that they need to, because... Admittedly, size only 4/10, but they're not going to need it. Perfectly functioning game here. We'll follow Mick round on his flying lap, as his tyres do just about get up to temperature this time. At the start of the lap, this will be the most optimum lap he can possibly have, aside from hitting a Haas in traffic. I'm hoping this Haas is on a flying lap. I mean, he has to be on a flying lap. No, wow, that was a weird place to get past, but he actually got through smoothly. How is that Haas not on a flying lap? Only Norris is on a flying lap right now. And he's just crossed the line to go third. So Magnussen, for whatever reason, well off the pace in this session. Mick has a completely clear run to the line to get, realistically, 31 thousandths to get Sargent. That's the best we're going to get. We're not going to get Ricciardo, I don't think. Especially if you're going to go slower in the middle sector on brand new tyres. Sort it out, Frontier, sort it out. And across the line. Doesn't go faster on brand new tyres. 80-something% the old ones are on. 80-something%. More track evolution, brand new tyres, 0 improvement. Literally impossible. In fact, he went slower in Q2 than Q1, despite track evolution. In fact, so did everyone. Actually, pretty much everyone went slower by a significant margin. Yuki Tsunoda qualifies 7th. 7th. And again, because it's simulated, they go even slower in Q3. This is a weird thing. It doesn't really matter for the overall, but it is a weird thing that happens. Kevin's got a car park penalty.
There's a fantastic atmosphere here at the Hungaroring today as we prepare for 70 laps of thrilling F1 action.
The heart may be in Budapest, but the racing soul is right here. Decades of F1 history saturate every turn of the Hungaroring, including the 1989 Grand Prix, where Nigel Mansell bullied his way from a P12 start to an ultimate victory.
What on paper could be a low-speed circuit is turned flat out by modern Formula One cars. The Hungaroring's short lap means track position is essential in qualifying, and drivers will need to be careful of track limits throughout the race. Here we are, folks. We're back for another day of scintillating F1 action. It's race day.
I told you it was tyre hungry. Those are the strategies they're giving us off the off. I don't quite know why they're saying... What's these exclamation points for? Mandatory compound or something? I have no idea. Apparently a 2-stop is slower. Aggressive 3 is better than careful 2, but not by much. I mean, obviously this is wrong anyway, because that shouldn't be like that, but... And that will need to be earlier too, for that matter. Interestingly, Zane is better with a conservative 2-stop. What's the lap? 1.4. They allow you to take 10 laps out here, so we'll split the difference and go 5. Obviously, the first couple of laps will be angry, and 14, 16 is the start. Both on mediums, but very different strategies involved.
Welcome back, everyone. The final preparations are now being made as we head into the race. As we get to this race, our focus shifts to Valtteri Bottas.
I don't think there'll be many expecting them to mount a challenge from P19, but I wouldn't discount their chances.
Right, let's get to it then. This is it, the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
Might have to disagree with Karun there. Unless absolute mayhem happens, I discount their chances. Albon starts at the back, presumably because he had to change car parts. Because he was in Q2, so theoretically he qualified 15th, 16th. Magnussen had penalties as well. Not actually fully certain why Maloney started 16th. Maybe he didn't actually start 16th. Because it does look like our two drivers were next to each other originally. Great overtake. Interesting angle to look at it from, but I think maybe Albon must have taken penalties that weren't registering. I didn't see if he actually started from the pit lane or not. But first lap survived. Not too bad for Mick, because obviously his first stint is designed to be angry in the first place. Slightly more concerning for Zane Maloney, who I'm just trying to keep in range of Sargent, to keep Sargent thinking about behind than in, oh dear, is this Alpine on Alpine action? I mean, the worst angle to watch that from.
Yeah, that's it, guys. I got hit.
It is Alpine on Alpine action. This is the better angle. It was Ocon saying he'd been hit in that replay, so I think that's Gasly behind then. Gasly now ahead, but it's been a huge gap behind Sargent though.
Let's take a close
As there's
look.
2 overtakes.
Now we're watching the action closely here.
Excellent, excellent highlight. What? Gasly's got the penalty for the incident, so yeah, he was the one behind. Mick did have Ricciardo, which has somehow undone itself. Just try and get the temperatures down a bit, but... Oh, Mick's got Ricciardo again.
Okay.
While I was dealing with that, Mick got Ricciardo again. Sneaky, sneaky, catchy monkey. Lovely done. Oh, thank you for switching that camera angle there. That was helpful. Mick once again punching in the early stages, probably because of the lack of fuel, but now won't have DRS, because he's a clever boy with excellent racecraft. It's also probably worth just saying that on Zane, just because you'll get DRS here. All right, bring that aggression back up again for Mick. But as we can see, incidents are not impossible here. Why are they not pitted Ocon? Actually, what is his damage? Because rear wing is actually intact for a rear wing shunt. Maloney actually dropped off. So Maloney's going to have a bit of pain here, but the good news is, of course, is Gasly is the stopper, and he's well behind Sargent, so he could actually probably use Sargent, provided Sargent actually gets past. And every time Sargent doesn't get past, he's going to get a boost in morale from defending. So when he eventually does get overtaken, it won't hurt as much. So engine temp back in range, which is nice. There's another yellow flag. Is it up here? Yes. Just a lock up there this time. Won't bother watching it. It's evident what happened. He's actually doing a wonderful job for Mick, really, when you think about it. Just holding Sargent up. And yeah, every time he defends, that's a little bit more confidence for Zane. And with our tyre preservation capabilities and engine cooling, whatever it goes into this, Mick's tyres on aggression are still within the temperature window. So, crucially as well, Gasly held up Bottas to the tune of 9 seconds on this pairing, which Zane is still capable of just defending from Sargent. Unfortunately, Russell is dragging Ricciardo, and Hamilton is dragging the 2 Astons, and Snowder's in a world of his own. I have no idea. I have no idea what goes on in Snowder's car. I genuinely have a belief, because it does factor in driver weights. Even if every driver is the same height visually, it's a problem with both this and the Cody's game, but because it genuinely does factor in the driver's weights when it comes to like calculating fuel loads and things like that, I genuinely think Yuki Tsunoda's car is lighter than everyone else's because of Yuki Tsunoda. Because Yuki Tsunoda himself is probably a few kilograms lighter. The fuel they put in is less than most other cars. Therefore, he gets effectively the same benefit as we do from underfueling, or a similar benefit as we do from underfueling. But he gets it for the entirety of the race, because obviously he doesn't get any heavier. Whereas our fuel, we have to recover, and therefore we end up getting closer to the status quo. His just stays under. Mickey is slowly closing in on this, because I think Ricciardo and Russell are fighting. In fact, yeah, Ricciardo's got past Russell. Russell's on hards, that's why he's slower. Piastri's also on hards, as is Norris, all going long. So this is allowing Mick to get a smidgen closer. In fact, actually, the fuel recovery's been quite quick here, because we were minus 7 point something, and now we're at minus 6 already. Only lap 9. In fact, somehow, Maloney's dropped Sargent, despite being on the same tyre. And strangely, despite coming off the fuel, Mick's gone like 2 seconds slower. Russell's at a 121.8, got past. Ricciardo's at a 123.7, whilst being overtaken, and Mick's done a 125.3 somehow. Gasly's in the pit already, probably because his tyres were damaged from colliding with his teammate. I don't understand why he went slower. But Russell's going for it, I think, now. He must have been just holding fire for a couple of laps there. Because he dropped Ricciardo easily there. And now Mick can't keep up with that for whatever reason. So Merley pitters off softs. Sargent has a mechanical fault. That's probably why he was unable. Honestly, any lap we can get more out of this, I think we might be able to drag that. If we can make him go one more lap after this, that would be great. Yeah, we can get another lap out of this. That's great. Yeah, any lap more we can get out. I obviously put it on this lap originally just because I expected the 5 push for the first 2 laps to take a little bit more out of the tyres than it did. Is that Ocon? That is Ocon after 15 laps. Mick is about to lap Ocon. I presume he's pitted already. Yeah. Oh no, that's a lap. Yeah, he's pitted already onto a soft. Did Did he lap when the incident happened? Yeah, he did pit when the incident happened. That's what I meant to say. Pit, not lap. But that explains that at least. So Mick might actually get a bit held up here. No, he'll get away with that, I think. So Zane was recovering all those laps while Mick wasn't. Oh, brief yellow flag as we put a soft on briefly. For however many long this is. That's coming out with Albon, who hasn't pitted. We started on the same tyre as Albon. We've come out with Albon, having pitted. I won't get him to recover while he's just warming the tyres up, because I want him to stay in DRS range, ideally, so that he can just pass Albon, but yeah, I'll get him to recover. I don't really necessarily want this to be instantaneous. Someone else has just pitted, I think, to come out directly in front. Alonso. How are we so close to Alonso? He must have had a pit stop error, because Ricciardo was obviously the one we were behind. Smooth pit stop for him. He goes on to a soft as well, I think, yeah. So if Ricciardo comes out well clear of Alonso, then Alonso, Alonso's had an issue. That's fairly evident then. We've got to get... Oh, I was about to say I was tempted to just give Mick a little bit of leeway on these tyres by being quiet on them. But he's decided to overtake Albon well outside of DRS, completely of his own regard, on good soft admittedly versus old mediums. But kudos to Mick there. Quickly deploy. Try and close the gap to Alonso if we can. Hamilton overtakes Maloney. Oh, yeah, he's just pitted. Okay. Just going to be a deployment. Ocon's just retired. That's fine. Has he retired in the pits? Must have done. There's no yellow flags or anything. Oh, Albon's pitted anyway. That's fine. I was just going to tell Mick to go a bit more aggressive to hold off. Mick's not fighting anyone. Neither is Maloney. I could try and catch Alonso's DRS, but I don't think it's worth it long term. Alonso's just overtaken Maloney. And it's a safety car. We'll pit early there. Don't think Mick's involved. I'm going to presume it's Bottas and Magnussen, who are both out. I dare say it wasn't a race after all, Karun, that Bottas can get anything out of. Because Kevin exists. And has taken that into his own hands. But just a safety car. It is worth noting... Oh, Mick's just gone past the pit entry detection point. Buggeration. Mick will get to the pits again before the safety car gets picked up, so... Actually, this would work out because they would come in double stacking. I'm just wondering if it's worthwhile going onto a medium and not pushing it and getting the pit stop done now. But it says 4 kilometers to pit entry, so he's missed the detection point. Which is fine, but he won't get picked up by the safety car, so don't need to recover fuel now either. Crucially, the leaders are pitted as well, so it'll be a little bit longer before anyone actually even gets picked up full stop. Everyone's going racing speed, so ignore the fact it says 12 seconds, because it will still be effectively 20 seconds because no one's going full speed. So Mick will end up behind Maloney, which probably means I need to take that off. Oh, no. He does come out ahead of Maloney. I'll put it back on again. That's just worked out. Well, they said lap cars now may overtake. I think we might get going this lap then. Yeah, we do. I don't think I can push Zane's tyres. I'll go on standard on the restart, but I don't think I can actually push them. As we get going a few laps later. Obviously, I'll take these as long as I can. Alonso's developed an issue. Away we go properly. We're only 28 laps in. I still wouldn't rule out being lapped by the end of this race. Fuel-wise. Magnussen will carry over the penalty to next race. Ricciardo pitted onto hards. Which will give Mick the edge here. Mick used his only new soft, so he has only got hards left. The gaps behind Maloney have evaporated, of course. So he's going to have to contend with that for the rest of this race. Maloney actually does have 2 softs. If there's a safety car around lap 40 or whatever, we could maybe try 2 softs with him. Or we could do 1 hard. He can push Zane's fuel for a while because he will get lapped. Mick going around the outside of Daniel Ricciardo as he gets held up by Alonso. Without DRS, of course, at this stage. Again, not a point on the cars unless top runners get taken out.
The opportunity begging to be taken.
That was really good for Mick, actually. He's putting a couple of really good moves in this particular race. Albon through the chicane and Ricciardo there. Meanwhile, Zane's done the opposite with Albon, presumably because his confidence was low to begin with, whereas Mick's is high to begin with, because Zane got overtaken by everyone who pitted before the safety car. Actually, I need to put battle assist back on again, don't I? I just realised. Just want to make sure he stays within a second, really, before I take off his tyres. He's not actually going to do that. That's annoying. Well, you go light. We'll leave you to fight, but we'll focus on Mick tackling a hard-running Alonso at this stage. And if he slingshot past, I'm pretty certain he'll be in the DRS of the Mercs, which he is. Yeah, Sargent's going to get Maloney as well, but what tyre is Sargent on? Hard. This makes no sense. And he's wounded. Badly wounded. You can stop pushing the tyres, actually, I just realised, Mick. I think we can leave the fuel because I think we'll get lapped by lap 70. And it, you know, one lap was 1.4. So interestingly, Maloney's got Sargent back. We'll watch that real quick. But Alonso stayed behind me, but Ricciardo went through and dropped. Jesus Christ, Zane. Flip. I mean, I knew he'd made the move and I still reacted. Crikey. Hamilton's been dropped. Hamilton's had a weird race weekend. Like I say, I feel like he's severely lacking in something. He's on hard tyres. Engine's not great. Doesn't have any RS really. Alonso's issue is gearbox. If that goes, it goes. Is it Sainz or Leclerc that had the issue? Leclerc. Again, gearbox. If it goes, it goes. Ricardo actually doesn't have an engine, so I have no idea why he's competent right now. Who's the one with the fault? It's Sargent, isn't it? Again, gearbox. Wow, his engine. I'm surprised his engine's not about to blow up. What on earth's going on with that temperature? But yeah, his gearbox as well. So if that goes, it goes. And there is a yellow flag for someone. I don't know who. Oh, it's Sargent because he's miles off Maloney now. But yeah, we can push his fuel at least to minus 1.4 because Zane definitely will get lapped by the end of this. We're still only at half race distance. Russell's now got a mechanical fault. Wasn't even looking at him in that. All right, what's your issue then? Oh, I guess it's ERS because it's on 20%. So if that goes, it won't actually take him out of the race. Sorry, Schumacher overtook Hamilton. I didn't even notice that. I mean, makes sense. He didn't have DRS and he's on hard tyres. Mick Schumacher 12th.
Mick Schumacher says Dankeschön.
Is that the only thing he says, Crofty? I mean, I'm sure he's got other vocabulary. Not that you'd know from that voice line from Crofty. Ricciardo more than a second-ish off Stroll. So can we claw him back? Maybe. I don't know. I think that's going to be a fight with Hamilton because, or not. Stroll's pitted out of all this, but crucially, Alonso stayed outside of a second, and Zane Maloney is now on him and past him, getting his confidence back up a smidge. He's putting in good laps now. If I deploy a bit with Mick, because he seems to have a bit of ERS again, if I deploy a bit with Mick, maybe we can get into the DRS again with Hamilton, which we can, as we also lap Zhou Guanyu. Unfortunately, Hamilton got DRS as well, though, because he got the back marker, but we're through anyway. Sorry, Mick's 9th, I've just realised, because of Stroll pitting. Mick's 10th anyway, because Stroll pitted. Oh, please tell me Stroll's on a soft. He's got to pit again. Stroll has to recover an entire pit stop here. Albon's tyres are shot. Why? Sorry, I need to have a look at tyre history for Albon. Albon didn't pit under the safety car, because the safety car was the lap that Zane pitted, so he didn't pit under the safety car. Interesting. But they are also shot after 18 laps. That's ridiculous. This does show you the tyres for Albon. If I click on him. Yeah, he pitted well before the safety car. And since the safety car, 4%, 4%, 4%, 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%. He has chewed through them. He has absolutely gone for it. And what if he's got 2 hards that he might be able to go for? Because he might be pitting twice as well. Zane's only pitting once. As is Mick now. I'm sorry. Safety car. This is going to be red flag. He's stopped on track. I'm not going to pit because I think this is going to be a red flag. He's in the middle of the track. This has to be a red flag, surely. We're past the pit entry anyway, at this stage. All right, we'll go on to a hard. I'm going to change his strategy. I'm going to put him on a hard as well. The leaders are already past the pit, so kind of irrelevant. How is this not a red flag? Like, you can get past, but... Oh, he's just deleted his car. So, that's fine. It was okay to hold off because the leaders were on the other side of the track anyway, so... They've not even been picked up yet again. He's actually reset the safety car, I think, because it's not even set off yet now. So we'll pit when we get round. We are having to double stack, though, which is a minor issue. I didn't realise how close Zane was. I should have maybe risked it with Zane and pitted him straight away. Oh, don't you dare! Oh, he has had a slightly slow stop there. It's not helpful, but he is out ahead of Hamilton, crucially, for 11th. Did Stroll pit under the safety car? He did not pit under the safety car. So we can go to the end now. Leclerc's mechanical fault has potentially got worse. He's in the lead, though, with the fastest lap, so I can't actually see. Lap cars are now overtaking. We have to consider the fact we won't be lapped now, which is fine, because obviously we're well over on fuel. But safety cars galore here, though. I'm going to presume a few people on hard. Oh, just Leclerc, actually, who... Why did Leclerc not pit off a hard there? That's ridiculous. In fact, a lot of people didn't pit. There's a yellow flag immediately, because I think Zhou Guanyu went wide. He's not under the safety car, but... Oh no, it's Hulkenberg span on 13, apparently. So he was last on track regardless. So Stroll has to get an entire pit stop over this remaining 25 laps in order to stay 10th. Hamilton also has the tyre advantage right now. Obviously, long term. Actually, that's a point. Long term, a medium won't make the end. A medium will reach the end. A hard tyre will reach the end. People on a medium tyre might not make the end either. I'm considering Stroll as a point potential here, but drivers like Ricciardo and Hamilton might need to pit again. As might Russell, who's got a wounding, of course, as Tsunoda as well. But we know Tsunoda's probably actually got the pace to just bugger off and actually get that pit stop he needs. But Russell with the damage, his issue, which is ERS admittedly, but Russell with that issue might be in a spot of bother as well here. So we can burn this fuel off entirely. We'll keep everything on just in the vain hope we can hold on to a soft running Stroll. Of course, our strength isn't on the straight there. Our strength is through the rest of this lap, which I think actually we seem to be okay on. So I'll save the ERS for now, as Maloney takes Hamilton without DRS. Where's he done this? I wish we had a better camera angle for that, because that's a move. And also, crucial for Mick Schumacher getting a point here. All right, so we'll come off the tyres as well, of course, as soon as we possibly can. As long as we stay within DRS range here with Mick, we'll be fine. Because Ricciardo/Russell aren't in the DRS of the drivers ahead of them. Alonso's fault's getting worse. He's behind anyway, but there's one less person in the top 12. Stroll and Russell are fighting each other, and I think Russell's issue is causing a problem because he is struggling. But we'll obviously take this opportunity to burn through the fuel and hopefully gain places. But his soft tyres are on 57% already. Bear in mind, remember there was 70-something when the safety car came in, so they're burning them, clearly. Both our drivers have DRS on Russell, but I'm not going to actually overtake him this lap, because I think he still had it, actually, on Stroll. Realistically, as long as we stay in their DRSs, they've got to pit and make that entire pit stop back, and also get through Maloney first. Hamilton's having a nosy, but every lap we keep Hamilton behind is another lap that he's not going to be able to make up time. He's either got to preserve his tyres or pit. So even with that ERS issue, Russell has just enough with the remainder of those soft tyres to stay... Nope, never mind. No, he doesn't. Stay ahead of Mick is what I was going to say. But Mick's done him. Kind of shoved him off a little bit line-wise. And on the outbound of this, has very much compromised him and cost him a lot of time. In fact, Zane nearly goes in the back of him because of it. So every second we make now on Russell is points, essentially. Because he's got to pit still and then recover that pit stop. So if we get more time on him now, that's more time he has to recover. I mean, I know we're on a hard tyre, but tempted to just deploy with Mick here, just to try and get Russell out of DRS range by the detection point, which we'll do. I know we're not going to get Stroll in range just yet. In fact, you're not fighting anyone on this stage, so just come off that, will you please? Your turn to deploy, Zane, as you get through Russell. Same place, though. Or actually, not the same place. Of course, he's done it at the first part. As these two are fighting behind as well, Alonso and Hamilton, old friends at this particular track. Alonso, of course, costing Hamilton the victory that year Ocon won. Oh, Zane's well clear, actually. You might as well top up behind Mick, because I think you're pretty much on, you're on Dauphin, aren't you? So it might be well worth you just recovering a smidge of tyres now as well, just to make sure you get to the end. You're gonna have to come off fuel first as well, actually, Zane. But because you're behind, your tyre temps are going crazy. All right, so Mick is now in range of Stroll because Stroll's tyres are going off. He might even pit. We're also about to reach Zhou Guanyu. Oh no, Zhou Guanyu is going to give Stroll DRS. That's annoying, but we'll all get past him. So hold off one lap here, Mick. All right, try again this lap, mate. Zane's dropped off massively. I think the lapping caused a problem. I thought Mick was about to go for it there. Has Russell pitted or is he just struggling? Russell hasn't pitted. He's now just 15th. Say it quietly, folks. I think Hamilton's gone for this. I think both Hamilton and Alonso might have gone for the we'll make them last approach. Ricciardo and Piastri haven't, crucially. Leclerc with an issue, of course, now pitting as well. Stroll still doesn't pit. So he's going to be doing two softs, I'm pretty certain. And his tyres are going to go under 30%. All right, so we're through. We'll watch that again. You can say, crucial that he gets past before he pits. Because we need to make sure Stroll has as big of a challenge as possible in order to get back. I mean, right now is double points, but Sainz has got to come back through. Maloney is in Stroll's DRS range, which is crucial. Stroll should probably pit, he does. But he'll get DRS because of it. Oh, he didn't actually get DRS, Zane, for whatever reason. Alonso overtook Maloney because of that. I think he also got the benefit of being lapped by Sainz did Alonso here. Because he got both of them, as that's Oscar Piastri right there. Annoyingly right behind Zane, so that's confidence. I wish he'd come out ahead, actually. Fernando's punchy there. Oh, sorry, that's Norris, actually. Piastri hasn't pitted yet. Norris has car issues, which I didn't even notice. Russell still hasn't pitted. Oh, no, Russell has now pitted, but he is 16th and 30 seconds behind. He is 28 seconds behind Maloney and a full 31 seconds behind Mick with 15 laps to go. There goes Sainz naturally through Mick. Be great if Mick could get the DRS off him, but he's not going to because he's on fresh softs, I presume. Might just preserve the tyres with Mick just so we can attack them a little bit later because he's got that buffer to Alonso. And in a way, I might actually come off the fuel now with Mick just so we can start pushing the fuel a little bit later on when we're in a little bit more danger. So what's going on with Hamilton's tyres? They're mediums. I think he's going to have to pit onto softs before the end of this because 44 is not going to make 15 laps. We're going to be in survivor's territory at the end of this race. Mick's confidence is already high. Maloney's isn't, which is the problem. So he's going to be driving slower because of the confidence. And now he's got to get Leclerc through as well. So Maloney's not getting points because his confidence is going to kill him, basically. If Maloney can be behind by the detection point here and indeed just get shoved off. Oh, Maloney's thing isn't showing DRS even though he has it on. Okay, so at the very least he's back at more than 0% at the start-finish line, which is helpful. I'll come off his fuel now as well. Norris's mechanical fault is going to take him out of the race. Annoyingly, he just overtook Mick. Mick, can you get past... Can you get past Norris on track so you can get the confidence boost back again? Oh no, it's not going to take him out. Is it ERS for Norris? I bet it's ERS. It is ERS. So Norris doesn't have ERS as Piastri and Ricciardo now pit. Very late for them, of course. So Piastri's another one that's going to overtake Mick, annoyingly. I can't believe Leclerc isn't going to blow up. Because I'm pretty certain that Leclerc and Alonso are... Russell's was an ERS issue as well, wasn't it? But I can't believe Leclerc and Alonso, who are gearbox issues, I'm pretty certain, aren't going to have a problem here. Have you done any successful defending here, Mick? He's going to defend from 1, though. Surely? So Piastri's going to get back through. Tsunoda's probably going to get back through. Hamilton hasn't pitted yet, I don't think, so he's still got to pit. So the next one coming through is Ricciardo, who is being held up by Maloney as things stand. So the longer that he holds him up, the more tyres he burns through into the process. Stroll actually went onto a medium, not another soft. In fact, that's a good job that Ricciardo's overtaken him before the detection point, because he might actually be able to tackle him back again. No. But as longer Hamilton and Alonso go as well, is the more that's going to hold up people like Ricciardo. In fact, yeah, Alonso's fought Ricciardo back there, so that's helping. Mick's confidence is going to go down the toilet because he's going to get Tsunoda through, and there's nothing I can do about that. Norris and Leclerc, even with broken cars, is still too fast. The good news is drivers like Albon and Hulkenberg and Zhou Guanyu and Gasly. Something just went weird. Oh, that's Leclerc's issue. Leclerc's mechanical fault. I'm pretty certain Leclerc's was gearbox, was it not? It was. His engine is on fire. Ours is actually fine in comparison. So Mick is 5 seconds behind Leclerc as things stand. He's fighting off Yuki Tsunoda, which might actually give him a confidence boost if he's successfully done that. Stroll's got through Maloney now for 13th. But we're all in one big train. Never mind. Leclerc doesn't have a gearbox and is still driving faster than Mick. Admittedly, he's defending from Tsunoda, which again, good that he's overtaken before he's got to the detection point. But Leclerc is out as he just drives into his pit box. Front end. Might do a bit of deploy here with Mick just to keep him in DRS range of Tsunoda for another lap. Keep him away from Ricciardo. It's 8 laps to go. Can't really push the tyres annoyingly though. Yeah, no, he's not going to do it, and he's not actually fighting anyone, so I'll take off DRS for now. Maloney is detached from Alonso and detached from Albon behind. Oh no, he's actually not detached from Alonso. This is for a point for Zane. Alright, so we'll come off the fuel now for Mick, just so we've got something to burn at the very end. So what's going on with Alonso here? He's on 70% medium tyres. He's going to the end of this race and he's going to blow up. I don't think he's got tyres, Alonso. I think Alonso might be without tyres. He's done it stupid. He's got no gearbox and his tyres have evaporated. That's nailed on Maloney 10th then, I think. Or Russell could still come through, actually. Russell could still come through. Although Russell's got to fight his teammate first. There's 6 laps to go and everything is happening. Ricciardo will get to Mick. Ricciardo will get to Mick. Alonso puncture. That's held up Albon. And now he's forced to pit. So that puncture has given Maloney breathing room on Albon. I mean, we're going to be in a world of pain by the end of this race, but we're in it for points. I'm going to try and preserve these tyres as best I can. Williams already have a point, so that's not the end of the world. Hamilton is through Russell. I'm hoping Hamilton starts fighting Albon before Albon starts fighting Maloney here. Okay, yeah, Ricciardo's caught up like immediately. That's never going to be a thing. Those tyres are still way too good on that RB. Still went on a medium though, so that's obviously going to keep them going. Albon's on a soft, crucially. So hopefully this becomes an issue for... Ricciardo has a mechanical fault that's now got worse just as he's got to Mick. Defend, Mick, defend. Good boy. Put on battle assist again. Piastri now has a mechanical fault. What was Ricciardo's issue? It's engine for Ricciardo. I forgot he had a terrible engine to begin with. So it's engine for Ricciardo. So where's Stroll in regards to Ricciardo? 2.5. Actually, Stroll's tyres are 49. They're not doing too well now. So Hamilton got through. Hamilton's going to get Maloney with no problem whatsoever. Say, if Mick is capable of defending through the rest of the lap... Yeah, so we lose the point with Maloney. Not a lot we can do about that. I'll push his fuel from here, though. I think Mick's fine, though, because he's got 10 seconds to Hamilton, who is 10th. And if we can hold up Ricciardo, so that Stroll gets in Ricciardo's... That's annoying closing speed from Daniel. I'm fighting for as many places as I can with Mick here. It is worth saying, though, we've only had one retiree from the people in front of us, usually. Leclerc is the only person to retire from the in front. Russell's obviously got an issue with ERS, but ERS isn't necessarily a problem, as proven by Norris. Alonso's issue is gearbox, so that is, I suppose, another one, and Ricciardo's issue is engine now as well, so I suppose that's the third one. But this is entirely on strategy and capitalising on safety cars. This is how we've ended up with this. Utilise this ERS. I am super micromanaging. I never normally do it this hard. I am super micromanaging here. I think we're fine from Stroll, because Stroll isn't even actually closing, so I think the worst Mick can get is 8th. Unless something horrible happens, of course. But then if something horrible happens, Maloney's in the points. It's a shame, really. Nothing really happened more. I mean, Hamilton's tyres are now going off a little bit, but not enough that's ever going to be a problem for him. Albon's not quite close punchy territory, but he's close to getting 11th again. Oh, actually, I just realised 11th for Maloney will get him count back. Oh, nearly forgot about Mick there, who I've got to micromanage again, of course. Push, deploy. Come on, Mick! This is the very last we've got. He needs to defend here. He needs to defend here. He's being compromised. I'm going to give him everything. This is the last lap, so we can take everything we've got left out of these tyres. We haven't got any more fuel. Verstappen's won, that doesn't matter. Sainz is second, Perez is third. Every point counts. Albon was lapped. Albon was lapped by Verstappen right at the very end, so Maloney cannot be worse than 11th. He obviously can't do any better, but unless one of these drivers in ahead just kind of blows up. Yeah, we've got no more spare ERS whatsoever. Or tyres, for that matter. So just attack the tyre out of the last corner, Mick. Attack the tyre out of the last corner. Get this 7th, please. For the love of God, get this 7th. Yes, Mick! Those are the hardest fought points I think I've ever had in F1 Manager. Tsunoda obviously still got more. We're not fighting RB in the championship here. Maloney is a lonely 11th in the end. But that's count back for him. It's no points, but it is count back for him. Personally, he needed, I think, a 13th to get Bottas. He needed an 11th to get Hulkenberg. But I don't know if the results otherwise are enough. Why is Pierre the focus?
Well, it was a bit of a mixed bag here. Some things went their way, but others didn't. I think their main target now will be finding some consistency for sure.
How have we got that voice line from Karun there? 7th and 11th is miles above prediction. Spa next, yeah. Anything can happen to the Belgian Grand Prix. Anything can happen to the Hungarian one by the looks of things. It's only 4 places up for Zayn. He did start 15th, so that does actually prove that he did start 15th. And I guess Albon started from the pit lane or wherever, or the back of the grid. I'm not sure what happened there either way. But 6 beautiful, beautiful points for Mick Schumacher. We used everything in the tank to get him 6 wonderful points. Lance Stroll was actually only 0.7 behind in the end, Daniel Ricciardo. But despite a fastest lap personally, that is 1.4 seconds slower than Daniel, we managed to out-race him. And similarly, Zayn, 120.7 was his fastest lap, which is hilariously bad. Carlos Sainz moves up to 3rd in the championship ahead of his obviously good friend Lando Norris. Charles Leclerc with no points makes this no-brainer for Max championship-wise now, basically. Lance Stroll 2 more points. Lewis Hamilton 1 more point. Yuki Tsunoda another 8, secures him 11th. Ricciardo another 4. Mick 6 gets him ahead of Albon. And Zayn's 11th place only gets him Valtteri Bottas because Nico Hulkenberg got 11th place, and I guess his historic results over the course of the rest of the season are better than Zayn's. Constructors-wise, that takes us ahead of Williams because they've only had those 4 points from Albon. DHL, who cares at this stage? I mean, we're miles off Kick Sauber in that. It's hilariously bad, really. 2.587 was his worst one. I mean, I like the fact the worst one was actually under a safety car. Miles cleared the 800k. Mid-season board review happens there. I don't know why it doesn't happen after Spa. Another 1.5 million, thank you. How are you not happy off the back of that result, Mick? All right, what do we need to replace? Just suspension, that's fine, because we are building more. In terms of strategy, we expected to finish 19th, and our best finish position was 7th. I expected to finish 21st for Mick somehow. We keep an eye out for talented drivers in Formula 2 and Formula 3. We noticed that Oliver Behrman has a lot of potential. Well done. Late to that particular party. Afonso, not even Alfonso. Afonso. Right, facilities. Helipad. Oh, it actually doesn't go under at 80%. I thought it went under at 80%. It must be 75. We'll hold fire then until that actually does go under. I believe we've got manufacturing space, so I'll work out what we're lacking in. Already manufacturing more suspensions. That's great. It's 4 days. I'm actually going to manufacture another front wing because both of them are on medium risk for that. So we might lose 2 plus any that they actually damage in the race, which is entirely possible. So it's nice to have a good stock of front wings, realistically, because I'm not building any more spec-wise. There we are. We've got a little bit buffer money-wise now, 4.9. It's not a huge amount, of course, but we'll take all that we can get. 1 new rear wing coming up after Spa. Sponsor plan after Spa as well. Suspension completed there. Another underfloor on the race day itself. So we should have enough pieces to get us through the weekend, fingers crossed. Obviously, there's a big dangerous spot in Spa where they just come off at the bus stop and smash straight into that wall. But fingers crossed. I've just willed it into existence, haven't I? I've just willed it into existence. But that is that. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed our first ever points finish, how have we lost mentality? How is the one person who did have positive mentality now not lost that? That's ridiculous. Anyway, we've gone up in the constructors. Mick and Zane have gone up in the drivers. It's been a wonderful weekend all told, regardless of the fact the mentality's gone backwards somehow. If you enjoy that, like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. Bye now. Until next time. Ta-ra.